Really need you to have a lot of stress enough to give you a heart attack, and then you have a bad heart.
Well, that's stress is a terrible thing. People, they worry a lot, and people are just going through a lot of things, especially these days. The world is just, undergoing a lot of changes, so to speak. And a lot of changes that you see going on around are not necessarily good for people. And, some people don't realize that they have underlying conditions because, first of all, they may never have checked for it. Maybe because they never had symptoms or not understand the symptoms that they're having. Which, if you don't mind, I'll take a minute just to go over a couple of things. Stress, people kind of take things to heart. You've heard that expression sometimes, they worry themselves and, it feels like, you worry so much, you feel like, you just, you're taking it to heart. You might give yourself a little bit of chest pain. There are a lot of chemicals that can be released as a result of excessive stress. Lots of things like cortisol, adrenaline, those type of things are being released from the body. Your pressure can go up. You may not even know it. It can cause the body, if you're having issues with sugar, to create more sugar. Your cholesterol is going to go up. A lot of things can just go wrong when, just things are just troubling you, in the community or even in your own family. Common symptoms, a lot of people think of chest pain. Chest pain. Chest pain can be described in so many different ways. When I listen for the story, I want to hear things like, is the pain continuous? Is it come and go? What makes it better? What makes it worse? But also the quality of pain. Describe the pain to me. Is it like a stabbing pain, a burning pain, or does it feel like pressure, like somebody sitting on your chest, And that's actually more concerning for me when someone says that it feels like somebody just sat down on my chest like an elephant, and I just felt like I was just being squeezed, And that's actually a very positive symptom, that may be related to heart disease. That's actually I guess that'd be the first thing people would talk about. Other symptoms, could be, are very, I guess what we call them general or universal symptoms. Feeling lightheaded or dizzy, headaches, shortness of breath, for no apparent reason. I used to be able to run up and down the stairs. Now I get short of breath when I run up the stairs. Chest pain or tightness in my chest or burning in my chest when I'm working, when I'm trying to be active. I feel like little chest discomfort. All right. Then sometimes you may find in some people that symptom that even tends to linger on when you're resting. You know, waking up short of breath from your sleep, feeling like you need to go get air. Abdominal pain, you know, left arm, right arm, pain or numbness or tingling all of a sudden out of the blue. Pain in your jawbone, pain in your neck, headaches, you know, all these things can be attributed to, or all these things may be symptoms that may be related to an underlying heart condition. You know, and stress, man, because you know what happens when you get stressed out, man, you get excited. You get excited, what happens to the heart? Well, the heart's going to race. It's going to beat. Boom, 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 boom. You know, it's going to go a little faster because you're excited, you're angry, or you're revved up, so to speak. So it makes your heart rate go up a little bit. Now, when the heart rate goes up, it requires what? More blood and oxygen to go through. If there's a blockage there, for whatever reason, you know, all of a sudden the heart's gonna demand more blood, but enough of it can't get to it, or it's not enough's not getting to it. And just like a muscle cramp, it'll feel just like a muscle cramp in your leg. All of a sudden you get a cramp in your chest as opposed to a Charlie horse in your leg. You follow what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, and that is, you know, that's pretty much, you know, what happens there. And like I said, a lot of times they just don't know. In men, you know, simple things like erectile issues could be a symptom of underlying heart problem. All right. Not enough blood supply is getting where I needed to go. Why is that? Well, I might be having a problem with my pump. Okay. All of a sudden I'm getting irregular heartbeats, palpitations. You know, that's these funny beats in your chest. I saw a commercial with Kareem the other day, the basketball player Jabbar, talking about his issues with atrial fibrillation. And he was like, you know, he just didn't feel right. And he noticed that his heart was just not beating right. Sometimes, especially, you know, and people of color, you know, we may not go to the doctor right away because we're so caught up in the things that are stressing us out. You know what I'm saying? You know, it might be family, could be work, could be the community, could be anything. You know, and things happen to us and we sit down, you know, we might experience something and we sit down and we take a break. Might drink a cup of coffee, cup of tea, some ice water, relax a little bit, and the symptom seems to go away. But instead of having somebody take a look at it, we feel, well, whatever it was, gone now. Let me keep on doing what I'm doing. But they don't understand that this problem might actually be worsening without you even know it. And all of a sudden, you just happen to be in the middle of whatever. Okay? Anything that makes the heart rate go up can cause a heart attack, man. You don't have to be running a mile, walking across the street. All right? You can be having an argument with your significant other. You can be dealing with your boss at your job. All right? Some knucklehead can cut you off in traffic. You know, anything that just irritates you can cause an increase in your heart rate. All right? An increased demand for blood and oxygen supply to the heart can cause a cardiac event. And if the underlying problem is severe enough, guess what? Now you got a big problem. And a lot of times, sometimes these big problems, man, people don't make it from having these kinds of problems. I hope that helps you a little bit with your question.
Yeah. Like I said, I never knew. I mean, people like 25, 27.
Yeah. Well, nowadays, you're going to see that more, Wendell. You know, you're going to see that more because people are more sedentary than they've ever been. All right. You're finding more people overweight in their younger years than you've ever seen in the past because people are not out and they're not as active as they used to be. Now, everything is done at the computer. Everything is done at your desk. Listen, people don't even have to go to work anymore. They can work from home. So they're not even forced to get up and walk to the train or walk to the bus or walk around the office. They're just in their house. You know, they don't even have to get up and get dressed anymore for work. All right. So your lives are becoming more and more sedentary and more somewhat closed in. People are getting locked in. So, and they're not eating right. You know, I mean, take a look at a person and say, you know what? How's he living? All right. Nowadays, you got people smoking every day. You know, marijuana. I don't know if this is the person that you know, but just they smoke a lot of marijuana now. All right. Smoking is smoking. All right. Still damages the lungs. Still damage. It can still cause heart-related issues or lung-related issues. All right, because you're still putting toxins into your body. Okay. So you got smoking. Then nobody cooks anymore, so everybody's eating fast foods. You know, so you know you do your checklist. You say, you know what? Yeah, they smoke. Do they drink? Yeah, they drink. You know, are you getting a lot? Are they getting enough rest? I don't know. Are they getting enough exercise? Interesting. You know, how many times do you think this person went out last week, just within the last week, and got food? How many times that person cooked at home? If you're eating more out than you are at home, then your diet is poor. Period. I mean, think about it. If you're getting most of your food that you eat from outside, all right, that means you got to go out somewhere and get it. All right, and you're not conscious about the kinds of foods that you're eating outside, meaning that you're getting burgers and hot dogs, you know, pizza. All right, you know, Mexican food, you know, Caribbean foods. I mean, they got all kinds of foods where you're eating lots of meats and lots of starches, and lots of preservatives. You know, you're eating hoagies, okay, and cheeseburgers. You know, you're not eating a well-balanced diet. Most of the food that you're putting in your body are going to have lots of other things in it. All right. If you're not walking, I mean, I'm not asking people to go out and pump iron. You know, I'm not asking people to go out and run marathons. You know, I'm asking people to do something simple. How about just taking a walk around the block? Okay. Maybe walk to the store instead of driving. Walk to work instead of catching the bus. Okay. I mean, I'm saying, let's try something simple. But the thing is that we need to get people moving. All right. And the point is that if you're sedentary, if you're not getting enough rest, you're up all night watching movies, eating junk food, not eating properly, you know, just not living right, then yeah, you know, you can have health-related issues at a young age. Yeah, I've never seen so many young people with diabetes, okay, and high blood pressure ever. You know, I know a lot of people in the South, and it's amazing, you know, going to funerals in the South and, you know, a cousin, you know, somebody related to or a family friend, and you go into their funeral and they're in their 40s or even younger. I'm like, man, what did he do that he died in his 30s or 40s? Was it violent or, you know, what happened? And it turns out they just had problems with sugar and problems with their pressure. And I'm like, at 30? at 40.
Yeah.
And you look at them, they're like, come on, man, they're 5'10", 275 pounds. You've seen them. Okay, you've seen them.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not a secret. Ideal body weight. I used to do this, and I know this is not. I don't want people to get concerned when I give this number. Okay, all right, but it's something that you can think about. The ideal body weight for women, all right, is 100 pounds. Okay, 100 pounds plus 5 pounds per inch over 5 feet. Okay, plus or minus. Well, you know what? I'll be generous, 20%. So, if your girlfriend is 5'6", okay, that means her ideal body weight would be 130 pounds plus 20%, which would be 26. So she should be somewhere between 110 to 160 pounds.
All right.
Okay. All right. All right. For a man, the formula is the same, but instead of 5 pounds per inch, it's 6 pounds per inch. All right. Now there's some fudging involved, especially if you're an athlete, you're bodybuilding and things like that. So your ideal body weight is going to be a little bit more than just the average. We're talking about quote unquote average size people, so to speak. So if you're 5'10", all right, then you're looking at 110 pounds, okay, plus 60, which is 170 pounds, all right, plus or minus 20%. I'm being generous with the 20, okay? So that puts you somewhere between 150 and 200. You hear what I'm saying? Yeah. So, so if you're saying, oh, man, I'm nowhere near 200, I'll never see that again. Well, I'm like, well, where are you? Well, I'm at 240. Whoa. So you now know that you're 25% overweight. I mean, pretty much. Yeah. That's you're 25% overweight. So now you got to think about, man, how do I lose weight? 40 pounds, 200. That 40 goes into 200. Basically 4 times, which is 5 times. I'm sorry, you're 20%, 20% overweight. The I gotta figure out how to cut down. All right. So if you think about it, if I eat less and I do more activity, I'm going to lose weight. Right? If I eat less, okay, and I'm doing a lot of training, all right, but I'm adding some protein to my diet, then I'm going to trim down, but I'm going to build more muscle. Okay? So, but if I eat less and I do less, my metabolism doesn't really change much. So a lot of people will sit there and look at me and say, hey, I don't really eat much. I said, well, that means you're not really doing much. Okay? Yeah, I don't eat a lot. Yeah. Why am I gaining weight? I don't eat a lot. I said, well, what do you do every day? And, a lot of times people don't realize that it seems like they're not eating and drinking. And we got to remember drinking, okay, because a lot of things we drink have a lot of calories in it. That's sugar, calories. So you look at it and say, well, you know what? If you add up the calories of your intake, you realize that, hey, I'm not burning enough calories. Everything is based on your weight. Just like I did the water thing. If you're 120 pounds, 1,200 cc's of water or 1,200 milliliters of water, or 6 bottles of water a day, Pretty much the same thing with your weight. Okay, 1,200 calories, 1,800 calories. You know, how many calories do I need to sustain myself? Well, I mean, the easiest thing is to look and say, well, if I'm 120 pounds, 1,200 calories may be enough to do it. All right. But if I see myself taking in 2,400, that's twice as many calories as I need, right? So I need to somehow cut that back in order to do what? Trim down. If I continue to add more calories, I'm going to do what? Add more weight. I'm trying to simplify, okay, so that people can get an understanding of it. All right. It's all mathematics. So, you know, you got to sit there like, oh, man, hey, 6,000 calories yesterday. Okay, you're 180 pounds. All right, you're 4,200 calories more than what you needed. We got to get rid of 4,200 calories out of your diet. What the heck are you eating? Okay, you want to know why you got problems with blood pressure? You want to know why you got problems with heart disease? Okay, when I say you, I'm not talking about you individual. I'm talking about you as in the plural sense. A lot of people. All right, you're digging your grave with your teeth. You're eating your way into a hole, a big hole, one you're not coming out of. So you gotta look at what you're putting in. You know, listen, you can eat healthy, you know. And I remember somebody's, you know, I heard a speech one day, and the guy said, you know what? It seems like when we're eating, we're always hungry, always feel like we gotta eat more. You know, you go out, you get something to eat, you feel like we gotta eat more of it. Let me tell you something. There are chemicals that are in the foods, okay, that make you want to do what? Eat more of it.
Yeah.
All right? That's what they're putting in these fast foods. All right? Reason why you can't get enough of the quarter pounder with cheese or the Big Mac or the Wendy's double cheeseburger or the Kentucky Fried Chicken or the Church's Chicken or whatever it is or the Domino's Pizza is because they got stuff in there that's doing what? Making your body crave more of it. All right. So if every time you eat it, you're going to want more of it. You know, you eat a pizza and a couple hours later, you want something else to eat. They're giving you things to rev up your appetite. Okay. But here's a solution. Next time you're hungry, eat some celery sticks. Eat an apple. Eat a pear. Eat a banana. Everybody should be eating a banana every day anyway. Right? What you'll find is that healthy foods, okay, clean, healthy foods, all right, tend to assimilate or work better with the body's ability to process and digest it. All right. And you find that when you're eating healthy foods, okay, and your body gets accustomed to eating healthy foods, you eat clean. And when you eventually break away from healthy food and try to go eat that cheeseburger, and this may have happened to a lot of people, or go eat that pizza, is that you can taste all the nasty stuff that they're putting in your food. You know, I mean, if you eat clean for just 1 month and then go try to eat a Wendy's cheeseburger or a McDonald's cheeseburger, you'll never want to touch another one. It tastes so bad. You can taste everything from the cleaner that they use to clean the grill, the old grease, the spatula they use to flip. You can taste all of that stuff in that burger. I mean, it is nasty. Okay? All right? And then you'll realize, you know what? If this is what it really tastes like, oh man, I don't need another one. You know, I don't need another one of those things. Those things are bad for you, man. And that's what's killing us. That's what's killing people in their 20s and 30s and 40s. Okay? If you don't, you gotta find a way to eat better. All right? I mean, I know fruits and vegetables are expensive, but you can buy juices. All right, they got juice stores. They got healthy juices at the supermarket. You know what I like? I like those naked juices. I think that's what they're called, the naked juices. And I mean, they got a couple of them that I really like the strawberry banana one, and there's another one, a blue one. I think a blue machine or something it's called. I drink those. You know, I can drink those for breakfast, drinking one, and it feels like I don't feel hungry pretty much for a while. You know,
Yeah.
how about the old fashioned V8 juice? A lot of sodium. All right. But we talked about sodium not long ago. What do you need to get rid of sodium? More water. Drink more water. So I like V8, tomato juice. You know, I don't know. Remember, you know what? I can remember when I was younger. You know what I used to like to eat, man? Tomatoes. Did you like tomatoes?
No.
You don't like tomatoes?
No.
Oh my goodness, man. I used to eat a tomato like it was an apple. You know, just pick it up and just bite right into that red, juicy tomato, man. And
I like the V8, but not the tomato juice.
it's okay. You know what? I used to take it's funny. I mentioned sodium. All right. V8's got a lot of sodium in it. So I can take my tomato and I take the salt shaker and after I bit into it, so the salt would, stick to the inside of the tomato. I would always douse it with some salt, eat it that way. It was wonderful to eat a raw tomato. You know, it's funny, or even celery. You take the celery stick, you wet it, and you dip it in some salt, and you chew it up. I don't know. I know. I take it you don't recall ever doing anything like that.
No, I remember eating celery. I guess I don't eat celery now because I ate so much then. I remember celery, put the salt on it, chew it. You eat the whole thing of celery, and then you pay attention that you ate all of it.
And it's good for you. Never hurts you.
Yeah.
Never hurts you. And all you got to do really is drink water. I mean, we got away from drinking water. Ice water, man. Just drink a gallon of ice water every day. It was easy to do. Because, you're out ripping and running all day. You get hot and sweaty. You get thirsty. Drink some ice water. What is that old milk jug, the milk gallon jug. Fill it up and drink it down.
Yeah.
Put it in the refrigerator, letting it nice and cold. Pray nobody drinks it before you get home. And you come in, you don't even get a cup. You just get the milk jug and just drink the whole thing down. Fill it back up and let it get cold again.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody ever told you back then how important water was, and there was no way you weren't drinking enough water. You were drinking more than enough. And it's amazing how things change. I remember we were laughing once about beans. You say, man, I ate so many beans, I don't ever want to see a bean again. I don't eat no beans.
Yeah.
And it's funny, that's probably the healthiest food that they got out here right now. I mean, I can't see too many ways to screw up a lima bean or a pinto bean, or it's just hard to do. So I mean, you can, we tend to, where we're from, we tend to season it up pretty good with a little ham hock or turkey necks or whatever.
Yeah.
But listen, I'm sorry, but it needs that flavor. You don't have to eat the meat, but you definitely, it needs the flavor. And, with some rice, but I understand, you eat so much of that stuff coming up, that it's hard to want to continue to eat it. I love it. I can't get enough beans. I mean, it's a wonderful source of protein, good source of fiber. It helps with the cholesterol. It's not, that's just a food that's not going to hurt you. That's just a food that's going to just help you to stay healthy. And they got all kinds of different beans. And speaking of that, just bad weather. How you holding up down there?
The bad weather?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't let weather bother me. The rain, everything, I still do what I got to do.
Okay. Man, oh man,
I be laughing. It be raining. People be running through the rain. I'll just go ahead and walk.
I guess you go either way. You run through the rain, you just get wet faster.
Right. Yeah.
That's what I always say. Either way, you're gonna get wet regardless. Oh man.
Right.
You run through the rain.
Ain't got time to hold no umbrella.
Oh man, oh man, oh man. The the reason why I asked is this is going to be an interesting summer. It's not going to be a summer that we're accustomed to. Yes, it's going to be a little warm, but what we're going to have this summer, and you're already seeing it, is more rain. More rain than we're accustomed to. A lot more thunderstorms, a lot more hurricanes, a lot more tornadoes. And the reason why I'm saying that, it just came to me, and we were talking about beans, is that people have to begin to prepare themselves for outages. And so you got to stock up on your foods, your water, your batteries, make sure you got blankets, because it does get cold, even though it doesn't seem like it because we're in the summer, but some places at nighttime it can get pretty chilly. And basically we got to start thinking about how we're going to survive if the power goes out. Sometimes you can be without power for weeks. Some places, or even a couple of days without power is a nightmare. So you want to make sure you have enough water and foods to cook and eat in the event your power goes out. Now, the other thing is, my thing is what I always tell people, some places you don't have to worry about power going out, but it can be. But if you're living someplace outside of the city, so to speak, it seems like the cities drain all the energy and all the power. And once you get away from the city, there's less and less power. And all of a sudden, those people that are out in the sticks have none. Yeah. Generator. Must have a generator. Hook it up to your gas line. This way, if the power ever goes out, you can continue to survive in your home. Usually the stove, in most instances, unless you have an electric stove, the one that doesn't run on gas power, which is, they do make those still, you should still be able to cook on your stoves. But if you're one of those people that have an electric range and not a gas range, then you need to make sure that you have, what do you call that, a grill with some kind of propane or charcoal, that preferably a propane tank or charcoal that you can at least cook on in the event you have no power. We need to think about how we're going to survive. In the event you're going to get some power outages. There's going to be water shortages, so you need to stock up on those things: water, snacks, foods, all those things that just you're going to be we're in for a tough couple of months. I mean, hurricane season started June 1st, technically, but man, it seemed like it started a little bit before that, and it's really kicking in now. I recall not really seeing the effects of hurricanes until like late July, August, and into September. In this part of the country. But I mean, we're getting some serious storms. I'm in New Jersey, and we're getting some serious storms already. It's raining every single day.
Yeah.
It's awful. But back to your heart issues, man. What else is going on? You said some people just passed away on us.
Yeah, I was at the job today, and the people next door was telling us about the guy that used to work in the store. I mean, he was 23. He passed away. And I was like, dang, this is crazy. 23 from a heart attack?
Wow. See,
Yeah.
man,
I mean, nobody I know, but people that I've seen in the store that work in the store get talked to every day.
Yeah, I mean, these are people. Believe it or not, the people you see every day are part of your life because you see them every day. You get accustomed to it. You start familiarity. Breeds relationships or friendships. You speak to them every day, even though you don't know them. You get accustomed to. You share your day with them, just because they're familiar to you. And sometimes you're more familiar with the people you pass and work with than you are with the people that live with you.
Yeah.
So I can understand that something like that would bother you because, that's a person you see every day and say, hey, what's happening? You never know. The world's different, man. People definitely got to take care of themselves. Last week I was talking about, things that we got to do to protect ourselves, from injury and harm. We were talking about swimming, but it's funny. I had looked up some of the causes of death on an annual basis, based on a lot of where are the biggest causes of deaths. Me, I was concerned about getting in the ocean. I don't like sharks, so I don't like getting in the ocean. But when I looked it up, out of 67 million deaths per year on average, 67 million deaths per year on average, sharks only claim 10 lives. So like, wow. I said, okay, so I guess the shark really isn't that bad. I guess the biggest issue with the shark is that bite. I mean, people they bite, but it looks like only 10 people die every year from shark-related deaths. Oh man, I'm overreacted, I guess. The other thing, plane crashes take about 170 people away a year on average, which is, that's still a lot of people, but it wasn't as bad as I thought it might be. But now with this weather, I don't know what makes people want to travel with all this rain and hurricanes going on. You got to kind of fly through that stuff. I want to be as close to the ground as possible in bad weather. And everybody's going on cruises. I asked them, I said, why do you think the price of cruises drops in the summer? Because of the hurricanes. The hurricanes start in the ocean. I see these news reports where on the cruise ships you got furniture flying, and people falling, and everybody getting sick. I said, because the ocean is choppy. It's rough. You don't want to be out in the ocean in hurricane season.
Oh no.
One of the other thing that I found that common causes of death. I like Florida. So I don't like alligators either. I play a lot of golf. I always see alligators. But alligators or crocodiles claim 1,000 lives a year. I was like, wow.
They claim more than the sharks do.
Exactly. Snails. I don't know what's up with that. Claim about 20,000 lives a year. I said, don't eat them. That's all. Snails. I don't know. I didn't look into it. I said, snails? Okay. Lightning, which we got a lot of now. 24,000 people a year die from lightning.
From white meat?
Huh?
You said from white meat?
From lightning.
From lightning. Oh, lightning. Yeah, lightning.
I remember Grandma used to say, turn the lights off, sit down, be quiet, don't say nothing. Lightning outside. I always think old people were crazy. But they say, oh, lightning, be still. Go inside.
Go in the basement. Go down the basement. And stay away from the window.
I'm sitting there. I said, you know what? People are outside walking. Lightning hit. They get struck by lightning. I'm like, wow. I guess that's real. These lightning injuries. That's crazy. 24,000 people die as a result of lightning. But all you gotta do is go inside.
Yeah.
I to complain.
And stay away from the window.
They close the golf course whenever there's thunder and lightning. I guess I got one of them sticks in my hand. That lightning, that becomes a lightning rod. I guess I'll be fried for real. I get hit by a bolt of lightning while playing golf. Dogs. 25,000 people die as a result of dog injuries every year. 25,000.
Golly.
Dogs. That's nothing. Wow. Dogs?
Yeah.
Terrorism. These crazy terrorists out here. 26,000 people a year die from terrorism. 50,000 people die from snake-related injuries. I was like, man, the snakes. I'm like, wow, that's worse than the sharks. I don't like them either, snakes.
Yeah, yeah.
Poisons, about 70,000. 75,000 people a year get electrocuted. 100,000 people die.
That's why I don't mess with electricity.
Yeah, 100,000 people die from choking. 120,000 people die from fires. Drugs kill about 166,000. 250,000 people a year die from drowning. Now, we were talking about in my last show that you got to make sure you be careful with those kids around pools. Right. I was sure 250,000 people every year die from drowning. It's like I didn't realize it was that many.
Yeah.
The thing I'm looking at here is that I'm looking at all these causes for death. All these are accidents. Which means these are things that are preventable. Childbirth. Do you know that 295,000 children die during childbirth? That's 810 women per day. 810 women a day die giving birth to babies around, it's crazy. 470,000 are attributed to murder. Now, the one thing I wanted to touch on today, which I found that was very interesting, I heard the news today that of all things to come back in the last 20 years, we're now experiencing an increased incidence of malaria.
Oh, yeah?
Malaria, of all things, right here in this country. Now, they've only seen a few cases, and they've been isolated to Florida and Texas. Florida and Texas. It's like, wow. I mean, that's something we got to keep our eye out on that one because, they got those mosquitoes out there.
Yeah.
And I told people last week, I said, when you go outdoors, spray some of that, I was talking about Skin So Soft, but any insect repellent will do to try to keep,
Skin So Soft is real good.
Yeah. We've been using that stuff, man, since the 70s.
Right. And using on the dogs, too. They don't get no ticks or fleas.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That I didn't know that you could use it with you. When you give them a bath in, or you just rub them on?
You can give them a bath or rub it on them, and never had no ticks or fleas or anything.
Wow, that I didn't know. I mean, that's a good point for people, that have pets. You could use.
That was better than dipping them.
Yeah, that is better. First of all, it's got to be a whole lot cheaper.
Yeah.
Give them a bath and Skin So Soft.
Yeah.
Wow. And the other thing that I was looking at was suicide. Almost 800,000 lives a year as a result of suicide. Everything else is kind of expected. Numbers jump up, but those are all outside of car accidents, all medical related issues cause the majority part of these, of the annual mortality rate or deaths. But I was just shocked to see some of the numbers of these preventable things.
Yeah.
Listen, that's scary. Dogs, wow. I mean, people got the dog. I don't. I don't know where it's happening. I guess it must be happening in other places where you have so many issues with animals, just killing people.
Yeah.
Craziness. But
I mean, I didn't watch birds go after dogs.
I just find it to be some, this world is, man, it's changing on us, man. I don't know,
Yeah.
Where we're headed going forward, but things are just not looking good at all.
Mm-hmm.
And I know we're gonna run out of time at some point, but I thought I was pretty up. I stayed pretty current with the news. Somehow or another, I missed the news report on the little boy that got, hurt down south. He knocked on the wrong door, and the guy shot him through the door.
Yeah.
Wow. I mean,
and you see the lady that shot her next door neighbor?
No, that I didn't see.
Yeah, the white lady shot the black lady, her next door neighbor, and killed her.
I'm like, I don't get it. When you're so angry that you just can't wait to hurt another person.
Mm-hmm.
The kids that pulled into a driveway to turn around, and the man came out of the balcony and shot the. Wow, really?
He was telling people turn around his driveway. Yeah, those people need to be. They need to be checked.
But how many times? I know for me, if I make a wrong turn, I gotta turn around the first place I see. So I'll pull in somebody's driveway and back out and go back the other way.
Right.
I would never think that somebody would shoot me while leaving, not coming, but going.
Mm-hmm.
They shot the little girl in the back of the head while, she had to be in the back seat. Like, listen, I get it. The world is really pressing people. Okay?
Yeah.
But the man next door to you, the person walking by you, the person that you just happen to bump into, at random, is not the cause of your problems.
Right.
They're not the cause of your problems. There's no reason if a little boy who's bleeding knocks on a neighbor's door and say, "Hey, help me," and the lady's like, "Get off my porch."
Yeah.
I'm like, what happened? What happened to people? Where's the compassion for other people? There's no reason. I'm not the cause of your problems. Okay? You're not the cause of my problems. We don't have a grievance. We don't have an issue. As a matter of fact, what we do have in common is that the issues we have are being caused by someone else.
Yep.
All right? And sometimes that someone else, it could be the same agency, person, or what have you. But believe me, I'm not the cause of your problem. And see, the thing is that I retaliate or do something to you.
Yeah.
What have we learned? What have we learned? I say something to you you don't like, or you see me and you don't like me, and something happens to either one of us. What have we learned from that? Nothing.
Nothing.
All right. What did we get from that whole encounter? What did we get out of it? Nothing.
Yeah.
Not a thing. And where do we go from there? We had nowhere to go. It's just like it's an exercise in futility. It's like, why even? Listen, people out here are angry. about everything. People are frustrated. People are on drugs. You know, I'm like, wow, we're focused on the wrong things.
Yeah.
Focused on the wrong thing. Do you know that they had a press conference on TV a couple of weeks ago? But it wasn't even a couple of weeks ago. They were all searching for that submarine that was down there with the Titanic. Well, the federal government had some kind of conference, and they seem to have misplaced over $6 billion. So, you know, while everybody's, you know, concerned about the submarine, all right, meanwhile, the government said, you know, we can't seem to find $6 billion. Nobody even, it doesn't even, you know, it doesn't even really make the news.
Yeah.
You know, the special report of the day is where there's, you know, 40 more hours left in, of oxygen left in the sub. You know, the search is frantic. That's the news report. Everybody's like, oh, are they gonna find one? Find time? Meanwhile, the government's over there saying, you know, we can't seem to locate this money. Nobody even cares. Most people didn't even know.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm sitting there like, wow, you know, and now everybody's like, we know the military may have heard an explosion like a few days before. I was like, okay. All right. So, you know, so that all of a sudden, so what took so long for them to get to who knows? You know, so we thought we heard something, but we weren't quite sure what it was.
Right.
Like, okay. You know, I mean, I feel bad for the people. You know, I'm just not one of those people that are interested in going and seeing a ship on the bottom of the water.
Me neither. I'm not even interested in going to see one on top of the water.
You know, I'm not a thrill seeker. I'm not jumping out of planes.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
just leave me be. I'm just like, wow, I feel bad for those people. I mean, we lost people. I mean, yeah, I understand they want to go and see something or go someplace where no one's gone before. You know, people are paying $1 million, you know, or somewhere in the neighborhood of that to fly into outer space. You know,
yeah, and I want to see.
I said, you know, say, oh, you look where I went to outer space. I guess it's a good thing. You know, it's an experience. But what are you going to do when you're up there? Experience the weightlessness? You know, just
I can experience that on TV.
Okay. You know, I mean, there's just so many other things and problems that we have that really need to be addressed here on this ground. You know, you know, more power to them. I mean, those people that can afford it and they want to do those things, by all means. You know, but we can't. It's not something that should take up the news,
right?
The national news, in the event of a mishap. Okay, I mean, that's not, you know, especially when there are so many other important things going on. Did you hear about the wildfires are starting again up north? They expect the air quality to be poor again, especially in places like New York. They expect, because of these wildfires and these storms, they expect the air quality to get worse very shortly as a result of these fires. So I don't know if you saw all that smoke or smelt all that burning, and so, you know, all those things, you know, as a result of the last fire, but we're about to have that again. What you're going to end up with is a lot of people with respiratory problems.
Right. Yeah.
And in places like New York, okay, especially in the poor communities, Brooklyn, the Bronx, all right, you have a disproportionate amount of people, especially young people, all right, that suffer from asthma-related illnesses, okay, as a result of just poor air quality.
Yeah.
And I don't even want to call it poor access to care, but we'll just say, we'll call it what it is, poor air quality and environmental allergens.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're a kid, all right, let me just, if you have eczema, all right, they have topical things to put on your skin to help with the symptoms and treat your steroid creams, et cetera, et cetera. You know, what did we use before we had steroid creams? What did grandma do?
A lot of they used to use that what was it? Make flour and stuff.
Well, yeah, I mean, if she did that, but even simpler than that. You know, the one thing, Vaseline, man.
Vaseline was for everything.
Good old fashioned Vaseline.
You ate Vaseline.
Good old fashioned Vaseline, man. You know, I tell people, I say, if you got skin issues, make yourself greasy. Rub your body up with that Vaseline. All right? No more itching, no more flaky, no more rashes. Vaseline, good old fashioned Vaseline. Because the strangest thing, a little moisturizer and some water will do for you. You know, Vaseline, good old fashioned Vaseline. You go ahead, make yourself shiny. You know, I took care of a person that was bedridden for years, 15 years, I think it was, 15 or more. When I told my wife and the caretakers that we had how to keep her from getting bed sores, they all looked at me and laughed. I said, you know what? All I want you to do is take some Vaseline, and I just want you to make her greasy. Rub it around her bottom, rub it on her, wherever she got a bony part, hips, butt, heels, knees, elbows, make it greasy. Okay? Taking care of senior citizens for as long as I did. You know, they're incontinent. Okay? Make them greasy. Make that skin greasy. Why? First of all, if they're incontinent and they got the Vaseline on them, the Vaseline is in, you know, it acts like a barrier to all that urine and water. Okay? Yeah. So it makes it hard for the skin to break down. The skin stays intact. Okay? If you don't put a barrier there, all these things act as an irritant to the skin, and the skin breaks. All right? You itch, you scratch, you dig. All right? You don't have that issue with just simple petroleum jelly. I went to the dollar store. A big old jar of petroleum jelly, like 39 cents. All right? So no special creams, no excessive expenses. Good old Vaseline. Take care of everything. But, you know, man, with that, man, I keep you on all night, man. But for the most part, let's chat again real soon. For the most, you know, because looks like we probably ran out of time. That's okay.
When you're hitting the truth, time just flies.
Time does fly. But anyway, man, it's a pleasure talking with you. Let's chat again real soon. And for the world, God bless everyone. It's chopping it up. I will see everybody again in a week. Take care. Good night.
All righty. Good night.